In this video, we'll be giving you a tour of the completed house, and we'll also be going over all of the costs. So we'll be giving you a detailed cost breakdown of how much the home cost us to build, as well as all the other expenses that we have in the property. So how much we have in the land, all the utilities, the barn, etc. And so you'll be able to see how much it's cost us to build the entire place.
Welcome to our channel. We are Red and April Off-Grid. We have been sharing our journey as we build our own off-the-grid home in the beautiful Arizona desert. If you want to know more about this build, check out our playlist. I am also working on a full build video, so be sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up to support our channel and to see our upcoming projects.
Well, our house is finally done. We're standing in the front yard looking at the front of our completed home. We've been working on this house for about a year and a half. We've built it all of ourselves from the ground up, done all the work ourselves. It's so exciting to finally have it finished. It's a passive energy design, so it doesn't require any heating and just very minimal cooling. The power on our property is from our own solar system. We're completely off-grid here. We have all of our own utilities. We've been living on the property for less than 2 years, and the house took us about a year and a half to build. Before we started on the house, we had the well drilled, built the well house, then we built the barn, which was a place to put our solar system and to park our RV under, and we lived in the RV while we were building our home. We'll start with the exterior of the home. As you can see, it's all metal. The roof and walls are all metal siding, and that's to make it low maintenance and also for fire resistance if there was some kind of a wildfire or something were to come through, it'd be less likely to catch fire. We're standing on the south side of the house, and you can see it has this large overhang, which we made decorative with the beams and the tongue and groove up underneath. All of the big windows are on this side of the house to let in the sun to heat up the house in the wintertime, but in the summer, the large overhangs provide shade for this entire side of the house to keep it cool. We're on the east side of the house now, and you can get a good look at the slope of the roof. So this is a 12-to-1 pitch, so it's a low slope roof, and that's worked out fine for us. We have a 2-foot rise from one side of the house to the other. It's a nice simple roof, which was really nice for the build. Just really simplifies everything. You can also see that the entire pad is pretty built up on this side. It's just slightly built up on the far side, but the land naturally slopes toward us here. And so I had to build up the pad around there. So we rented a backhoe and I did a lot of work compacting and building up this pad. And then I also made the footer extra deep on this side to make sure it goes down to virgin soil so that we have a good solid foundation. And this is the north side of the house, so it's the shady side. Doesn't get much sun over here. This is the main entrance, and you can see our wooden door there. This is actually the entrance that we use most because we have a big parking area on this side of the house. So when we pull in, we park here, and this side of the house is mostly a big parking area. You can see the cooler there. That's for summertime use, just to bring air into the house, especially in those cool summer nights that we get here in Arizona. We can bring that cool air in, cool down all that thermal mass, and then during the day close up the house to keep that cool air in. You can also get a good look at our gutter. We have a gutter that collects all the rainwater off of the roof, and then it goes underground and takes that away from the house so that we don't have to worry about erosion under the foundation or anything. And we could eventually also collect that rainwater if we decided to. You can also see the exposed beams on this side of the house. You can see how there are two C-beams that are put together back to back to make an I-beam, so you can get a good look at the internals of the house. We purposefully left the beams exposed on both sides just because we thought the beams were a cool feature of the house, and we wanted to have that architectural element of the house visible, and we really like the look of it, how it all turned out, and so that's just part of the aesthetic appeal of the house. And here's a little better look at the east side of our house. You can see the gutter where it goes underground, and then it brings the water out to this area, which is an area that we want to plant fruit trees in. So we've removed some mesquite and cleared this. We've just left the one mesquite there. We already have some fruit trees planted in this area. So this area will all be well watered by the rains, the water that's collected from the roof, from the monsoon rains. We also have this little shed here that's kind of where we store our propanes by it. We also use that as a storage shed. We have a laundry line there to dry laundry. And we have a little weather station mounted up there. So it's kind of a multi-purpose shack out here. And then eventually we hope this will be a grove of fruit trees. And here's a look at what you'll see as you walk up to our home. This is our main entry door. And let's go inside and take a look around at the rest of the house. And here's what you see when you first come inside. The back door opens up into the main living space of the home. This is our great room. This room is our living room, our office space, our kitchen, and dining room. So all those spaces are all in one. So it's one nice big open space that takes up the majority of the home. Our home is 1,200 square feet. And it has this big living space in the middle and then two living suites, a bedroom and bathroom on either side. When you first enter our home, you come into our small entryway area. It's actually part of the main living area, but it's a little nook over here. It has a coat closet for handy access to hang your coat and take your shoes off, put those in there. And that's the entryway to our home. And here's a good look at our living room area. It's a big space. We have seating for 8. Easy view of the television there. We got all of the windows on the south side, all those big windows. The curtains are closed right now to keep out the glare. Normally we'd have those open, there'd be lots of light pouring in and you can see mountains and stuff in the background. We have a nice view out there. And here we have a desk that I made several years ago up against this poured concrete wall to create an office space. I also want to mention the floors and ceilings in this great living space area. The floors, because it's living area, are the earthen floors. We wanted the earthen floors to be in the bedrooms and in the main living space because it's a softer, easier on your joints surface to walk on. Feels very nice on the feet. And so we have that in all the living spaces, and then the kitchen and bathrooms have the hard and hard-wearing concrete floors. Also note that the roof slopes up towards this southern wall, and so the living space has the highest ceilings. And so it kind of draws you to the living space as the roof goes up and expands. It makes you want to go to that space. And so our living room and the office and both of the bedrooms are on the south side of the house with the 10-foot ceilings. We've opened up one of the windows so that you can see the light coming through. It's gorgeous light that comes in all day and lights the house up so nicely. It's very bright and cheerful in here. But all of this light coming through also brings in heat, and so in the wintertime, this is just wonderful. Each one of these windows is bringing in a tremendous amount of heat. As you can see, that light is shining directly on these earthen floors, which are thermomass. They're soaking up all of that heat, and then they slowly release it during the nighttime. And so we have seen really steady temperatures in this house. In fact, we just got through the month of January, which is probably our coldest month here, and our interior temperatures averaged between 73 in the daytime and 65 at night. So only 8 degrees difference between day and nighttime temperatures average in the home, even though outside we've seen temperatures as low as 7 degrees at night. So it's really done an amazing job. We have no other source of heat. The only source of heat is the light coming in through the windows, and then the great insulation that we built into the house to keep that heat in at night. And of course, during the day, as the sun is moving across the sky, the angle of the light coming in changes. And so this sunbeam coming in from this one window will sweep all the way across the floor and go up the wall and also heat up that concrete wall. That wall is a thermal mass wall, a concrete wall. We put it there for thermal mass, and it gets heated by this window and the window on the other side as the sun goes across the sky. And so the wall has really been kind of a battery, as well as the floor, a battery to hold in the heat and release it later. It's a way to store energy from the sun that we get during the day, so we can use that at night. And now we're standing in the living room, looking towards the kitchen dining area. You can see our little coffee nook over by the refrigerator. Right next to that is the pantry area. It's a good-sized pantry, around 6 by 8 feet. It's lined with shelves full of food, and then we also have a small chest freezer in there, which is really handy. As we keep going, we get into the kitchen area, and we basically just have cabinets along the outer wall and then wrapping in around this section of the wall that's part of that entryway closet. And so it's pretty minimal, it's pretty out of the way. And the dining area is our custom-made table that we made. It's an island height, so if you need more working space in the kitchen, you can move the 2 chairs that are closest on the kitchen side and then just use that as a big island open workspace. But then when you're not using for that, it's your dining table, and it seats 10, and it's really out of the way. As you can see, it doesn't come out into the living space very much. We have a nice permanent dining area that doesn't take up a lot of living space. As you can see in the kitchen and dining area, we have those concrete floors, so we don't have to worry about, if we spill something, it's not a problem. We poured these by hand and finished them ourselves with a grinder, so we're proud of how that turned out. We do like the look. And the concrete ties into other elements in the kitchen, so it ties into the colors that we've used in the kitchen. We also poured our own custom concrete countertops with aluminum edging, and pretty tickled about how those turned out. Also, the cabinets is a set that we bought used, and we really like those. We just bought those used and then painted them. So the kitchen didn't cost us a lot. It was quite a bit of labor, but we love how it turned out. So this is the west side of the house, and this whole side of the house is a guest suite, so it has a guest bedroom and a guest bathroom. I might mention also that all of the doors that we've used in the house, except for the sliding glass doors, are used. So we found all of these doors used and have restored and repurposed them. So these are a couple of beautiful old doors. These doors are well over 100 years old, and we really love the look. We've kept the antique hardware, and even though it's kind of a strange combination of kind of a modern, eclectic look, the old antique doors really go well. I love it. I love how it works. And now we're going to go into the guest bedroom. Once again, earthen floors in here, got the high ceilings, it's on the high side of the house. So even though this isn't a really big room, it's only about 12 by 12 or like 11 by 12, it's a fairly small room. It feels big because of the high ceilings. On the left-hand side here, you can see the private access to the bathroom and the little accent wall that we did with the dark dyed tongue and groove that matches the tongue and groove that we did on the outside of the house. Love how that little accent wall turned out. And then there's just plenty of room for a bed. Got a big window that'll normally be open during the day. This on the south side, letting all that sun come in. That's a big window. It's 4 foot by 5 foot. And then as you come towards this side of the room, you can see that the poured concrete wall is also exposed in the bedroom. So we made sure that when we built it, we loved the look of these poured concrete walls, and we wanted them to be visible from the main living space and also from the bedrooms. And so you get the look of the poured concrete wall. We also have the exposed wood framing all the way around. That was another intentional design choice, to leave the wood framing exposed. Just like the look of that. All right, now we'll show you the guest bathroom. This is another one of those antique doors. This one we didn't paint, we just refinished, and it turned out to have kind of a cool appearance. Anyway, you can see into the bathroom. It's a nice big bathroom with a full tub and shower. As we walk into the guest bathroom here, you can see the big mirror over the vanity. The vanity top we custom made out of mahogany wood, and the vanity itself is part of the used cabinet set that we bought, so all that was extremely low cost. This is also just a ground finished concrete floor, so basically no cost there. We poured that all of ourselves. And the shower stall is made out of tile that we bought at a used and reclaimed place. So we got the tile at a wonderful bargain, and we're able to use it in kind of a modern design by putting in some modern highlights. And we use the aluminum edging. It all kind of came together with a lot of metal elements to make a nice kind of mid-century modern type look, which is what we were going for. The tub we bought from an individual. It was a new tub, but they didn't want it, so they sold it to us at about half price. We got a great deal on that. And then did all the tile ourselves. We have a built-in shelf on the left-hand side over there that you can put your shampoo bottles and that kind of thing. And then we have a low-flow shower head attached, so that minimizes the amount of water we use to try to conserve the hot water. And this is a little utility closet that we have in the bathroom. We have some shelving on top for bedding and towels, and this cabinetry under here houses our hot water heater and the water manifold for the hot and water lines. And now we'll show you the master bedroom. The first thing you notice is this sliding barn door. This is a used door. It's a door that was made in Phoenix, Arizona, so fairly close to where we live. We actually found 2 matching doors and refinished them, and they're both in the master bedroom here, so both of the doors in the master bedroom are sliding. And so they slide really easy. We love the industrial look of these big casters and the sliding door. It's a lot of fun. It really works well. It was fun to install, the first one like this we've ever done. And you can see its sister door there, actually a matching door, has exactly the same pattern made by the same people. We refinished it and mounted it in the same way, and that leads into the master bathroom. And of course, we have the earthen floors in the master bedroom and then the concrete in the bathroom. But as you can tell, the earthen floors in the master bedroom look different than the earthen floors in the rest of the house. And that's because this was the first room that we did. And on the top coat, we were using a little bit of cement in with the earth. And it really gave it an interesting texture. It ended up cracking a lot, but it's a really pretty color. And so we like how it turned out. But we did it differently in the rest of the house. The rest of the house looks more like a chocolate brown. This whole side of the house is the master bedroom suite. So we have a master bedroom here that's about the same size as the guest bedroom, roughly 11 by 12 foot, with nice high ceilings. Now we're standing in the master bedroom and we're looking towards the living room area. As you can see, we have the exposed concrete wall here. This is a thicker wall that's 6 inches thick, and so lots of thermal mass there. And we love the look, how this looks in the room. As you can see, we also have plenty of open space here that we could put a dresser here or a desk. We're fairly minimal, and so we really don't need the dresser. And so we may just have a sitting chair here with a side desk later on. We're not sure what we'll do with the space, but even though it's a fairly small room, we have plenty of extra space in here. Another thing I might mention really quick is the vent that you can see up in the corner of the wall there. We have one of these in each of the bedrooms, and that's because this house is sealed up really tight and we needed some ventilation. So we have a couple of built-in vents that we can open up if we want to get some ventilation. We'll probably be using those more in the summertime as we bring in that cool summer night air and we flush the hot air out of the house. That's really what we'll be using those for mostly, but it also just gives us a little bit of ventilation all through the year. And now we'll open the door from the master bedroom going into the master bath, another sliding door to match the door coming into the master bedroom. One thing I might mention about these is that these doors are both 36-inch opening, as well as the opening to the closet is 36 inches. And we also have that minimum clearance around the tub and toilet area so that this space is all handicap accessible. Immediately to the left, as you walk into the master bath, we have a little nook here that is for laundry. And April wanted it here because it's right by the closet, right by the master bedroom. Most of the time it's just us two living here, and so the laundry never leaves this little space. It's just really close and convenient to everything. And here you can see on the left is our curtain door to the closet. We just use a curtain to cover that when we don't want it open. And then on the right there is the vanity. So we repurposed a dresser that we've had for years into a sink, and all of that storage underneath, except for maybe 2 of the center drawers, is still usable, and we still use that for our clothes. We have all our clothes in there, and that keeps us from needing a dresser in the master bedroom. So it's been a great cabinet, lots of room on top of the vanity there, and we just put in a glass pedestal sink so we didn't have to tear up the cabinet too much, and it also came with a nice big mirror, so that's all worked out great. And this is our walk-in shower. The shower we did all by ourselves using the Schluter system. So that was quite the experience, but I think it will make a really good shower stall. Most of these tiles, we also bought at a discounted tile place, so we got a great deal on those and saved them from going into the dumpster. We did have to buy the tiles along the back new and the tiles on the bottom new, but everything else was used. We used the same aluminum sides, which gives it a nice clean, crisp, modern look. And as you can see here in the bathroom, we have our ground concrete floors. It's all sealed, so we don't have to worry about water or anything in here. It's been really nice and hard wearing. And then right there by the walk-in shower is the toilet. And here's a quick look at the master closet. It's bigger than it looks from the outside because it goes around the corner. So open up the curtains. We have kind of a big space right here where we have a little bit of cabinetry that was left over from the set that we bought for the kitchen that we've used in the bathroom as well. And then it has a long rack for clothing that goes all the way the width of this space, which is about 12 feet, with some more built-in shelves down at that far end. So there's a lot of storage space in this closet. And now for the moment that we've all been waiting for, the breakdown of costs on our home. So we're going to be going through the entire cost of the home category by category. Then we'll give you a total that we've spent on the house. And then we're going to also show you how much we spent on the land, on the outbuildings, and the utilities. And then we'll give you a total cost that we have invested in our entire homestead here. So ever since we've began this project of buying this place, we've been keeping all of our receipts and we've been recording them on a spreadsheet. And so we feel like we have a fairly accurate representation of our total costs. Probably not down to the dollar, but it's pretty close. One note before we get started is that most of the materials for this home were purchased in late 2021 or early 2022, and it was a strange market at the time, and some things were very overpriced, some things were fairly normal price. Anyway, the prices will be a little skewed from what they were historically and maybe what they are now. So we'll just start going category by category. First thing was plumbing. It's amazing how much you spend on plumbing. A lot of PEX and pipe and fittings. And I have receipts for all this, but I just put a little note of the general kind of category. So I don't have it all completely detailed out here, but I have the total cost of each purchase event. Anyway, we spent just a little over $4,000, almost $4,100 on plumbing for the house. The next category is electrical. And same kind of thing, we had several big purchases, just a lot of wire, conduit, boxes, switches, outlets, that sort of things. Anyway, it all added up to $2,581. One more note on the electrical is it doesn't include the solar system. I have that at a different category that we'll get to at the end. The next category is the foundation, pad, floor. So that's everything all together, the footer, the forms for the footer, the concrete that we mixed ourselves, everything that we used to finish the earthen floor, and everything all comes together to be $9,235. That also includes the foam that went underneath the floor and kind of everything total for the floor and footer of the home. The next category is the roof, and we did a metal purlin roof that we took two metal purlins, put them together to make kind of an I-beam, and that was the structure of our roof. And then we cover that, of course, with many layers of material, foam insulation and several layers, and then cap that off with a R-panel metal roofing in white. And so anyway, you can see some of those costs here. The purlins were, for the big purlins, we have $2,800. For the smaller purlins that I use for those beams that stick out for the eave, that was $420. And then we had a couple big deliveries. The metal for the roof was $3,000. That was the Mueller order for all the metal for the roof was $3,000. So that's all the R panel and stuff associated with that. The foam was quite a bit, purlins, all kinds of stuff. So everything that we have into the roof was $15,375, one of our biggest categories. The next section is walls, and this is everything that went into the walls, from the studs to the insulation to the metal on the outside. Of interest is the Mueller bill, which was $3,600, so that's how much we paid for all the exterior metal siding for the home. And then there's just tons of other little stuff that went into that. Another big purchase was the drywall that you can see here. We have an expenditure for drywall and insulation for the walls, and that total on that was $3,521 for drywall insulation. So this was our, I guess, probably the biggest total category at $17,044. And then I broke out the windows and doors. I wanted to keep track of that separately. So we did a big order of windows from the Window Depot in Tucson. That was $2,500. That was our biggest single expense. And then we also captured all the costs from the used doors, the stuff we needed to refurbish the used doors, and even the wood for the door frames. So everything total for the windows and doors was $4,862. The next category is finishings and other, and this was a bit of a catch-all category. We have the evaporative cooler in here, ceiling fans, the propane tanks outside, and propane regulators, all that kind of stuff. So the finishings and other category amounted to $2,396. Then we tried to break out the bathrooms separately and capture everything that was associated with that. So from the bathtub, all the used tile, the mortar, grout, sinks, faucets, all of that for both bathrooms was just a little over $4,060. The next category is kitchen, which came in really inexpensive, a lot because we used cabinets, and we did the countertops ourselves, and the floor was just a ground stone floor. Anyway, amazingly, all of our costs for the kitchen, including the cabinets, the sink, the faucets, everything associated with it, was $2,397 for our entire kitchen. And the next category is returns. So this is a surprising category. We were really careful to keep track of everything that we weren't using and return it as soon as we possibly could. Sometimes we had pretty big returns if we made a significant change in our plans and we had to return a lot of stuff. Anyway, amazingly, we ended up returning $4,680 worth of materials. And so now we're getting down to the total cost of our house. We came in at under $60,000, $59,115 for the total cost of our home. There were some other related costs, of course, and these other costs are other expenses that went into the property. We have the total cost of our portion of the land, which is about 20 acres. That's $39,572, so that's what we paid for the land. And I also did the septic. We did the septic ourselves, and it cost us $6,550. Our portion of the well, we have a shared well with other family members here on the property, and our portion of the well expense was $8,190. And then our entire solar system was $10,245, and that's everything for the solar system, including that second set of batteries that we recently installed. And then our entire shipping container barn structure that we've had our RV under and that we've been living under for so long, and that has been such a great multi-purpose structure, that entire thing only cost us $10,870. And that was just because we found such a good deal on the lumber. We bought the metal for the top, or for the roof used, and we got a great deal on the shipping containers. And so it ended up being just such an inexpensive structure. And so all of those other things come in at $75,382. And so that gets you down to our grand total. This is pretty much the total, cost for our home and land and all the other structures, all the utilities for our off-grid property. We're at $134,397, and that's for 20 acres, completely off-grid and self-contained, a 1,200 square foot home, and a large shipping container barn and well house. And then, as you can see, the last category is furnishings. Now, I didn't add the furnishing costs into our total cost, because I just felt like they should be separate. It's mostly the furniture that we've bought for the home, but it does include the appliances, so some question about whether that should be included in the cost. But I did keep track of it. We spent a little over $6,000 on furnishings, so that's furniture, appliances, curtains, everything that you need to finish up a home, and that's $6,000, a little over $6,000 total there. This one category wasn't included in the total for the house. It's really been quite an experience. We have tried to save money anywhere we could. We're very frugal people, and we've tried to reduce costs but not make bad decisions. We've tried to reduce costs where it made sense and spend the money where it made sense. And what we've ended up with is a home that we really love. It really feels like a home. It feels very luxurious to us, especially after living in the RV. It's just a real pleasure to be living in this home. It feels like absolute luxury. And we've done it all at a reasonable cost.